Coming up this week on Unpicked.
I don't need to see other people have sex. I don't mind. No, I'm not gonna say that.
What don't you mind, Darry?
Things I was thinking, we are our worst enemies. I don't know if black men do the same thing, but I definitely think black women do it. I feel like the moment you have an opinion that doesn't fit what the rest of them think, they just
attack.
Yeah.
Wagwan peeps, it's Venom, what you saying? Alongside my home slice, damn to the Zane. When she and I get together on the poddy, ask anybody, the vibes are insane.
Join our family and feel free to come by. We on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Yeah.
New drop on the way every Monday at 6.
Tune in and come see what we unpick.
Since we've been in the studio, you lot don't see Tobi no more.
It's true.
Yeah.
Doesn't chew through the wires.
Chew through the wires, not causing trouble.
Having sex in the background and
masturbating.
He's not doing the most like he's usually doing the most.
Yeah, he's not here with us.
I miss him.
You do? He might come back when he's more...
Can we not get him on FaceTime on the iPad and just put the iPad here so he's like...
Just like, yeah?
Hey, Tobi.
Tobi's 1 now, you know.
Is he?
He's 1 now.
When was his birthday?
Yesterday.
Oh my God, happy birthday. I need to...
Thank you.
Hey.
He's a big man now.
He's 1.
I can't believe I've kept him alive.
Barely. When the... RSPCA, don't... It's just jokes, it's just banter.
He eats and he sleeps and I take him out for thingy and he gets his mental stimulation because he does puzzles and stuff. I'm doing my...
What's puzzles? Dogs can do puzzles?
Yeah. Like there's these puzzles you can get and you put like treats in it and then they've got to like... They don't get the treat until they unlock the puzzle.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's very smart. Because he'll use it like once or twice, and then I got to get him a new one because he's like clocked the
I know
game.
how to do this. Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I'm doing all right. But I'm just like, rah. It's been almost a year. When I first got him, I had bad puppy blues. I didn't think I could do it.
Okay.
Yeah, various points over the last like year. I was like, I don't know if I can do this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he's a big man now. He's a big boy. Yeah, man. Hey, hello, hi guys. It's your home slice, Dummy Zane in the building.
And your boy, Venom. Yeah, back.
We're back in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
The last 2 weeks, we had a long conversation, like 2 hours, almost 3 hours conversation. And then we just said, you know what, split into episode part 1, episode part 2, keep it moving. Now we're back here again, now that Venom's back.
Yep.
If you are new to the family, hopefully you stick around. Subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Those of you that have been here from day dot or from whenever you joined us, thank you for coming through. And also, I want to give a nice warm welcome to the new people that have subscribed. Our subscriber numbers are going up.
They are.
Slowly but surely it's going up. But thank you for coming here. We appreciate you. On the screen right now, you can see the QR code for our Instagram. Listen, I'm begging. I'm on my knees. Like, please.
Join us.
Because when we start doing lives, it's probably going to be on Instagram Live. And then you lot can like come into the conversation and talk wicked and bad to me or Venom.
So the this and that questions.
Yeah.
Music festival or picnic?
Festival.
Okay. Soca or high life?
High life.
Okay. Just for you that don't know, high life is like the African equivalent.
If you don't know, go find out. Google is free.
Damn. Bell bottoms or skinny jeans?
On me.
On you.
Bell bottoms.
Okay. I was gonna say because I've seen a few bell bottoms or like flared.
Yeah, I love a flare. You've
culotte.
seen me wearing a flare.
Yeah.
I love a flare.
The Mask or Ace Ventura Pet Detective?
The Mask.
And then the last one was, are you coming Escape next year? Yes or no?
What a coinky dink. Yes, I will be coming next year.
Mm-hmm.
I will be coming next year. I haven't got anything saucy because I know you're like ready for me to come with something saucy, but I've got nothing saucy.
I just stay ready. I just stay ready just in
normally
case.
I come with the cheeky this or that, but this week I'm keeping it, you know, PG. Are you a morning person or a night person?
Yeah, it's a morning person.
Yeah, same here, man. This is why early morning recordings, we can do this. Okay. Lose sleep or skip a meal?
Skip a meal.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Passion or stability?
Tricky. Stability.
Swear down.
Yeah.
We'll keep it moving. Beach and sun or tourist attractions and sightseeing?
Tourist attractions and sightseeing.
Okay. And the last one, more for the mandems, if anything. Yeah. GTA or COD?
GTA, man.
Yeah.
My COD days are way past me.
Yeah.
These kids would take me off COD in like 2.2 seconds. It's me and my brothers that brought COD to the level that is, yeah. And then these young brothers would like, get out of here. Like, what? It's ridiculous. Yeah, GTA all day. Give me a storyline and some civilians. Like, I'll beat up the civilians, not these kids, boy, with these twitch reflexes. It's ridiculous.
So apparently, there's been a baby born with 3 DNAs.
Yeah, I did see that.
For the first time ever, they managed to get 1 man and 2 women. Yeah. How are you feeling about that? What do you think about that?
It's dumb. Very dumb. Like, I understand. So the nature of, or rather the reason why, was to try and root out some hereditary genetic
some
issues.
sort of issue, yeah.
But you know them ones where, why are you touching? It's giving me, but why though? Like, yes, you are able to do it. Yes, you are able to do many things, but it doesn't mean it's good. It doesn't mean it's good. You can remove all the issues from humans by mixing the DNAs, but if that's not the way that it was supposed to happen, like, are we going to stop?
I just think that the direction that the world is going in,
it's not healthy.
It's scary.
It's not healthy.
It's scary because what's next? They're gonna do. I mean, if yeah, I mean, it would suit people in same-sex relationships or like even polyamory or any type of poly relationships that want to conceive.
Oh, what to have? Yeah,
because then now we know that there's a possibility for you to merge DNA between more than just 2 people.
But then
for it to be a man and 2 women, then you know.
But then think of it this way: if it was supposed to happen, it would happen. I.e., if a
You're
man,
talking about naturally,
if a man or
away
woman,
from natural in life, we've moved away from natural.
But they're moving humans away from natural. It just makes you inevitably be more dependent on the state, because you'll get to a point where, you know, like you can breed a lion and a tiger.
Yeah.
And it creates a liger. And that animal, I think, is infertile by nature and docile as well. So they're not vicious.
So then they have to rely on their makers to create them.
Yeah, and they can't even breed themselves after that point. I'm sure they're infertile, but they're 100%.
We don't know about this child though. We don't know if this child will be infertile.
I know,
or anything like that.
But what I'm saying is, that's the problem you get from just making something happen naturally that doesn't normally happen. So when you start actually creating things that cannot even naturally happen, you're gonna have problems that you cannot even imagine. Do you see what I mean?
I see what you mean. I see where you're going with this. My initial reaction was because you know me and my faith. I'm
100% no from me.
Let's not play with it. But I mean, we've got AI now. There's all sorts of things that only make sense that this is the direction that things are gonna go in. The moment they started looking at other planets and other places that people can live, and
to me that actually makes sense.
Technology, yeah, but to what end? When you start going down that line, obviously this is where it's gonna start moving to.
Yeah,
it's inevitable.
I don't even know. Like, other planets to me make sense, because if you look at this one, we're exhausting it. We're not changing the way we're using it.
Yeah,
it's good.
We've exhausted
So that
our
to me
resources.
makes sense. But this other thing doesn't, because I don't know how the DNA affects the chromosomes. But you know, like an XY chromosome person is a woman. XX is a woman, XY is a man. Some people are born with more chromosomes, and if you have like a XYY, most people who have more Y than they should end up being more violent.
Oh,
XYY, like 100% going to be a murderer, like that kind of vibe. So I'm like, if you're mixing DNA, like I don't know how it affects chromosomes, but I do know you're messing with the balance, because there should only be 2 contributors. So what happens? I don't get it. I'm not a scientist. I'm not claiming to be. I just know that the math ain't mathing.
The math ain't mathing
for me.
Let's see what happens.
One of my finds from the week, which had me in stitches, is that they've coined the phrase. You know how guys keep getting this, leg extension surgery.
Oh, right.
They've coined it now. It actually has a name.
Okay.
To identify all men who have done this,
who have had surgery to get longer.
Yeah, to extend their legs, to become 6
to be
foot,
taller,
or 5'9" or what.
Okay.
They're calling it KneeBLs.
Okay.
And it's making me look at these men like they're baddies as well.
Yeah, they are baddies.
I'm like, you're actually a little bit of a baddie to be.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a. That was not a short joke when I said you're a little bit of a baddie. I just meant a portion. Baddie is what you are. Small portion of baddie. Yeah.
We can't all be baddies.
We can't.
They can only be we can't all be elite. Otherwise, we lose the sense of the word elite.
Yeah. Just like everyone can't be 6 foot.
Exactly. Just like not every girl can have a big bum.
This is your shit. Well, I mean, they can, because they can all buy it, and I guess.
And then I guess all men can buy their height.
Can buy knees.
Do you know what I mean? Like they can buy hairlines now.
Damn.
Do you know what I mean? Like women can buy
hair. Do
you know what I mean?
Yeah, the KneeBLs was it tickled me, I'm not gonna lie.
It was funny. I keep seeing it on the timeline on Twitter. Guys go for surgery and they put something in their knee bit area or whatever, and it looks painful and uncomfortable. And then I'm thinking, but do BBLs look comfortable? No,
they don't.
But one thing I will say, BBLs don't look nice in the flesh. They look nice in clothes. Yeah. But when you're naked,
well, I've seen that on pornography. Is where I was like, ew.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know. I do still see it. Still happens. But
you still watch porn? Because that's what I got from that.
No, I know where you got from it. That's why I said it still happens.
Okay.
Still happens, you know?
Okay.
You
still watch the corn. Okay.
The corn?
Yeah. That's what I call it on Twitter.
Oh,
yeah.
The corn, yeah.
Corn.
Still see the corn from time to time. But that kind of stuff.
I don't watch corn.
Disgusting. Not interested.
I don't like it. I never have.
As in, you've never found anything that catered to your interest?
I just don't like it.
Fair enough.
I feel like it's I felt the same way when I went to Dam as well. It feels like a circus, like a spectacle.
Oh really?
Yeah. I'm a I'm a lover girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a romantic.
Mm.
Yeah. And I feel like corn takes the romance and the love and the sensuality out of it.
But there's romantic sense.
Yeah, I hear that. It's performative. It's not like
it's not the real deal. So you're more of a voyeur. You want to see like real people really in love.
I'm not a voyeur.
Really...
I'm not a voyeur. I'm the opposite.
But that's what you want to see, though.
No, I'm not a voyeur at all. I don't need to see other people have sex. I don't mind. No, I'm not gonna say
that. What don't you mind, Darry? What don't you mind?
I'm not the voyeur.
No,
so what would that make?
Start that other sentence.
Yeah,
I don't mind.
You there.
I don't mind.
If I'm not the voyeur and I'm the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Then what does that make me?
I don't know. Tell me.
Okay. Did you hear about ZeZe Millz? This was not on my list. This was not on my list.
Oh yeah.
But her 40th birthday, she said that she'll just do a porno and release.
If she's not married, if she's not married and doesn't have kids by 40,
she'll film a corn video. And she
release
will
it
release
on
it
OnlyFans.
On OnlyFans.
This came off the back of her saying that she has a OnlyFans account as a subscriber. Like she subscribes to some I'm assuming men.
She's bi though.
I'm just assuming when she said that.
So it might be
It could be women.
It could be women as well.
But I just assumed it was men.
I won't lie though. If I haven't got an OnlyFans account as a subscriber, but if I did, I would watch women.
I mean, I have no idea what like men-centric porn
they just
would look like.
Show their schlong
flapping about
all over the gaff, or they have like it's like amateur porn because they'll be doing stuff with people and they'll film that and put that on their OnlyFans.
Right.
Like on Twitter, Twitter has a lot of porn on it, right?
Yeah, I did mention that. That's how I found out one of my friends was gay on this podcast.
No, did you?
I don't know. I feel like I did. I've said this story a lot in live.
You never told me
Oh,
this.
okay. So I have a friend, right? I'm following them on Twitter because obviously Twitter's been around forever.
It's been like,
Never known. I've met one girlfriend that this friend of mine has. Only one. That's the only partner I've ever
Time
met.
ago.
Okay. And he was like,
young.
She was dead. And he was just not feeling it anyway. Like,
okay,
you could tell.
Cool.
So years have passed. Twitter's now on the back burner to all the other social medias. Anyway, every once in a while, once I start something or I'm thinking about something, I try and like, all right, let me look at Twitter. Let me look at all of my things and try and get my ducks in order. So I'll go on my timeline. I don't follow many people because I haven't been using it and it's really not that. Anyway, I just see some young black guys doing bits. And I was like, one, what happened to Twitter after dark? I thought you could only...
You could anytime.
Yeah, so I said, one, what happened to Twitter after dark? And two, this is two dudes. I'm like,
this is how I know you've not been in it for time. For you to be like Twitter after dark.
Yeah. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Because I remember when I used to just hashtag like Twitter after dark, I'd be like...
Free porn. No adverts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I just saw it. I was just like, oh, maybe, I don't know.
Oh, was he in the video?
No, he shared, like retweeted or...
He reshared it?
Reshared.
Okay, retweet.
So I was like, okay, maybe it was just
a
one...
tweet or a retweet?
I think it was just a retweet. I think it was just like a, boom, this is just...
So you saw that he was retweeting gay porn, and then you assumed straight away that he was gay?
No, so I was like, oh, maybe that was just... I don't know.
Like,
I didn't really see the context. Maybe there's something in there. I don't need to find it. It's cool.
What were they doing? I want to know.
I mean,
is there a clean
I can't remember because there was bare basically. So like
was
it happened.
Just two guys two guys in this video.
Yeah.
And so they were just partaking in like sexual activity.
But then I feel like I came away from it. I came back at a later point, like maybe a year later, a month later, I don't know. Same again. And I was
the
like...
same video?
No,
or he was retweeting other...
And then I said, oh wait, let me check his page. What's going on?
Right.
I went to the page, I said, oh, okay.
Oh, it's a theme.
And then I just found out my boy who I know him through.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, you didn't tell me so-and-so was gay.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, yeah, I didn't really know either. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, but so he's not actually come out at this point. It's just his content.
It's not that he's come out.
It's just that the content he's sharing is what's made you lot say,
it's not that he's not
and he's not had a girlfriend.
No, it's not that he's not come out. It's just that him being gay is not a defining factor of his...
It doesn't matter,
Yeah. So he just doesn't even say... Like,
yeah.
Because we're all brothers in that sense. So it's just
Yeah.
Just... I was just so confused. You know what? It's one of them ones where if you only know someone to be straight and then they randomly just really change gay and you're like...
I had an experience like that. I had a friend. We're not friends anymore. Not because of this, but because like life happens and whatever. But yeah, in uni they were straight, and you would have had no clue. And then over the years, things just changed. And I get what you mean. There's that shock factor, especially when you've like met partners before.
Yeah. So you just formed your thing.
Boom, straight. And then you've got to like re-collaborate your brain, but it's like, do you know what? Sexuality is like the last thing that matters about a person. To
of
be honest.
course.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't. It's not like a oh my god, now you're this and it's not that deep. I reckon it is for them though. Before they come out, it would be.
Oh, for sure.
Because there's everyone just assumes. Well, not anymore, but back in our generation, everyone just assumes everyone's straight, and then it's like, oh no, I'm actually different.
Yeah.
It would have been a thing for them, but like from our perspective as the friends who find out, it's like, it's not that, you could have told me from time ago, it's not that, it doesn't matter.
Fully.
It doesn't
I only
You're
have
still you.
I have
do you know what I
two
mean?
friends that have like come out. I guess he didn't really come out.
Yeah.
But I was alerted
You
or
was made aware
awakened
of.
to
Yeah.
this other interest that he had. But both of them, the one that actually came out and him, neither of them changed like at all. Whereas I'm used to the narrative of people coming out and then it being like a whole persona shift. Which I've seen in other people who are not my friends.
Okay.
But the people who I actually know, they're literally exactly the same.
Because it doesn't make a difference. Have you heard about the new student loan?
Yes.
Plan 5.
Plan 5 student loans.
Yeah. So
That's
for those of you that don't know, in the UK, I mean, it's the same in America, I guess. I don't know about anywhere else in the world.
I don't think they even get loans, do they?
I feel like everywhere else you pay.
Yeah, they pay up front.
Or it's free.
Yeah. You either get a scholarship or you pay for that.
No, I mean in America. No, in America you can get a scholarship.
I'm talking about
America, you get a scholarship. You can get a loan.
No, you can get a loan.
Yeah, you could pay up front. In the UK, the same thing.
Their interest can be
I feel like most Western countries are like that. But in Europe, there's countries that you go to uni for free. In Scotland, you go for free.
Yeah, it should be that.
That's what it should be.
Do you not want to breed geniuses to drive your economy?
Well,
anyway.
I feel like the whole point of it is to keep. Let me just readjust because my thigh. Woo.
The fire, yeah.
When you're chunky like me, you can't be sitting all. Do you know what I mean? For long. Anyway, right. So it's just fat, guys. I'm here talking about thick thighs. I'm fat. That's what it is. Yeah. So like in other countries, you're literally you have to pay for it, or it's free, I think. But yeah, now in the UK, I don't know if it's live yet or not, but these are the details
from this September.
Oh, it is live. Oh,
from September.
Because I just about made it. You know when the fees went up. Yeah.
Oh no, they went up twice, didn't they?
The first time they went up.
Yeah.
I just about made it. So this was bare close. Sorry if that was mad loud. When I was in uni, I think it was like around 3K a year.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it worked out.
That's the second one though. I think it was like 1.5.
Swear.
Then it went to 3.
Okay, so
I'm the 3. I could have been 1.5.
3.
But because man didn't want to commit to college properly and then had to go college twice.
I'm in the 3 something per year bracket.
Yeah, that's me.
And then, but my siblings are in the 9.
Yeah,
when it
happened
jumped
after.
Up to 9. Yeah,
and I said 9.
I said, thank God, because I was the last year before. I think I was when I graduated. After that, shortly after that, that's when it went into the 9s.
Yeah, it went down.
Wow. Do you see now when I say that our age gap is significant and you don't listen to me?
Yeah, but that 3 is still expensive, you know?
Yeah, but no, 9.
Yeah, 9 is dumb.
Yeah, 3 is fine. but anyway, I can't remember what age you got to be to start paying student loan on our plans. I think it's like
I think you do have to be over 25.
You've got to be over. It's not the age, it's the threshold.
It's the wage.
But I can't remember what
I think it is 25 though. I think the threshold is the same as what this one is.
No. The threshold this time is lower. So the threshold for
then maybe it's 28.
Yeah, the threshold for plan 5, which is what they're calling it, is 25k. Yeah. And then on top of that, we stop paying after 30 years. So either you pay it off,
or you just keep paying for 30 years.
You pay for 30 years and then it drops off. I'm almost done paying mine off. Or then on the new plan, on the new plan, it's 40 years.
Yeah. Longer, and the interest is
different. So for us, we pay inflation, and we pay so it's what the retail price index, the RPI, plus 3%.
Yeah.
Whereas on the new plan, they just pay inflation,
which is fine. But there's a split between tax, between the taxable amount of your income. Yeah. Have you got the numbers?
No, I didn't get the numbers. I was gonna, but I just thought, let me keep it simple.
Yeah. They pay more, basically.
But I feel like they're gonna pay double.
They pay more to the pound, that's what it is.
They pay more to the pound.
To the pound, I think we are like 19 pence to the pound or something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Either way, they pay more.
Yeah, they pay more.
And they're like 41p to the pound. Something like that.
And also, the idea is supposed to be that on our plans, it's more the taxpayers that support it. Whereas on the new plan, it's down to the student.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that they're trying to go back to a time where not everyone can go to uni.
100%.
When they increased the tuition fees in the first place, I thought, this is peak, because I mean, international students always paid way more anyway, so that's off the thingy. But like a lot of people, it would have deterred a lot of people from going to uni, because it's like, do I really want to pay? Do I really want to pay around 9k a year towards a course that may or may not even take me anywhere, if that makes sense? And now it's like, okay, I'm going to be paying around 9k a year, plus I'm going to be paying more than that when I leave. It's going to take me longer to pay it off, if I could even pay it off at all in my whole lifetime. Bearing in mind that on the plans we're on now, most people don't pay it off their whole lifetime.
Yeah, most people don't pay it off. But you know what? I'm not going to lie. If I had a financial brain on me when I was younger, I would have approached uni so different. I was 100% still have gone, even just to do my course, which is not like necessarily like a vocation straight into a job.
Yeah.
But like there was I think there was 3 options, or maybe 2. There's obviously the one where you can just keep paying for like 30 years, and wherever you get to, you get to. Clear it at some point if you can. The other option is to claim bankruptcy. I think it's only for 5 years, and then it's wiped regardless what you owed. That is the route I would have gone down.
I don't know about that, because when you want to be a homeowner, do you know how hard it is to be?
Yeah, but that's if you want to be a home owner. Why am
so now I'm not the only one that's crucifying.
Listen, I've been in Spain, yeah. Espanol. Yeah, because you don't have to necessarily own your home. You could put your home in a trust, or depending on how your family's set up.
That's true.
You could own the home via a business, and you could set up a business with a partner. There's so many other ways you could approach it. So I'm like, I would just claim bankruptcy immediately. 5 years later, I'm free. Like immediately. Like there's no hesitation. The way I would approach that, and then the dumb thing as well is that, which makes no sense with regards to this, is there also talks about removing the educational gap between being a student and becoming a fully fledged doctor, because there's not enough doctors to save you. So I'm like, so one of the main things people will go to uni for, to be a doctor, is the thing that you're actually giving away for free.
I think it's crazy that they're even considering giving people the opportunity to be doctors without having to go to school. That's crazy to me.
Insane. So then, this is not really so much a have you seen as in what's happened this week. This is more have you seen, because it came out recently and I only just saw it. And I can't remember if it was you that said I should watch it or someone else. But,
okay.
But Rylane.
Oh, I've not seen Rylane.
I must.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful little black film. And I use those words specifically, little black film, because it's very just quaint and.
But I do like the soundtrack.
I didn't really notice it because the film was just happening.
I like the soundtrack little EP that they dropped for it. I've got that on my Spotify, but it's on Disney now. So I've said
that's what I downloaded it and I watched it on the flight back.
I've said I'll watch it. I saw it there the other day and I was like, oh, I need to watch it. I was waiting for it to come on thing because I was like, I'm not.
It came out quite quickly on Disney though.
Yeah.
Because I swear.
But I knew it was gonna come out on Disney this month. I knew, so I was like, I'm just gonna wait for it to go out on Disney because I already paid for that subscription. What's the point of?
But I felt like it was only like about a month ago that it was in the cinema.
Yeah,
that's quick, man.
Yeah, but from when it was out in cinema, some of us already knew that it was gonna be on Disney. So I said, I'm gonna wait for it to come on Disney, and then because I'm paying how much a month?
I must.
Right, I will do. Don't worry, I got you.
I must.
I wanted to ask you, this question. And the reason why I want to ask you is because there's been a series over the last week or so, whilst you're on holiday, I've noticed a few different things that have different situations that have occurred on socials. And it's all boiled down to this one question, or it's made me think of this one question, And the question is, are we our own worst enemy? And when I say we is the Black community. And the things that I saw, just to name a few.
Get it off your chest, girl.
Remember Black Chats, Esther.
Yeah.
and she did a Snapchat, and you know how the Shade Borough is, they're very quick.
Mm-hmm.
They took the snap and then they posted it on their thingy, and basically she was saying on her snap that black women in the UK are bad vibes.
Right.
Because we don't support each other. And she was saying how most of the comments, the bad comments that she gets, comes from black women. We don't it's all this women empowerment, women sticking together business is lies, because black women are not nice to each other. And then there was another one on TikTok, Mariam Musa, another black influencer here in the UK. She's spoken about this in the past, because she lived in Kent growing up. And so she didn't live in Ends, so she doesn't have the Ends-esque thing about her. She doesn't talk like she's from Ends.
Oh yeah,
and then on top of that, she's also quite fair-skinned as well. So she gets a lot of comments around her being a coconut, for example, or a bounty and stuff like that. And it happened again. She got a comment similar to that on TikTok, and then she kind of did another video on TikTok to say, "I'm tired of you lot saying this about me." Like, again, black people calling her, trying to tell her that she's not black enough. And I saw in the comments of that one, there was a lot of stuff around black people saying, like recounting their experiences of, because I speak proper English, I was called a coconut, or because I didn't have black friends growing up, I was called a coconut and stuff like that. And then the third one was, like my crush Ovi. So the Americans I've happened to see him as well now.
Right.
So a girl from America was like, "Rah, I didn't know they had men like that in the UK. Maybe it's time for us to go to the UK to come and get the guys." Black women were like, "Yeah, sis, don't do that. He's like 1 in a million. All the other black guys are not like that. Plus he likes white women. He's not into black women." Basically tearing black men down in the UK.
Yeah.
And there's loads and loads of other examples I can probably pick up on that are not just even based on relationship, but just solely based on how black people treat each other. For example, another one off the top of my head, growing up, we would have experienced Caribbeans versus Africans. In America, there's Africans versus African Americans. There's colorism, dark versus light. And then one that is my biggest gripe, black men versus black women. So thinking about all these things, I was thinking, are we our own worst enemies? And I thought, we should talk about this.
Yeah.
So here we go. Let's unpick that. What do you think?
Black people being our own worst enemies, for sure. It happens in many different ways, which I always say is because it's such a big group of people, very diverse existence being categorized as this one thing. Where to start? I mean, Esther's a good place to start. I'll try and tackle it in order. Not that I'm going to cover all of them. I'll give you a chance to say something as well. But Esther's an interesting one because I don't know Esther, but from what she has put online and her claim to fame, her legacy, I wouldn't particularly say that's somebody I would want to be around, or someone who I'm like, oh yeah, like I've got loads of lovely things to say about you, if you know what I mean. Like, her career is based off of being hateful and very toxic and venomous towards a group of people opposite or beside her. So for her to receive comments of a similar nature, now that she feels like she wants to reform herself or has elevated herself, is almost like, yeah, but what do you as an individual, not black, not, what do you expect from the world to be giving you in particular, if that's what you used to elevate yourself from the crowd? Like, do you know what I mean? So there's a confusion as well, because there comes times where sometimes the issue is because you're black, and sometimes the issue is because you are you, which is what Esther is. I think it's just coincidental that she's black.
See, I think it's hard because I think people online, including podcasters, are very good at generalizing everyone. And we take the stereotypical view, and then that's the standpoint that we're going to go from. So as I'm saying this, I'm not saying it to form part of the status quo. It's just there are certain things that are kind of truths, if that makes sense. And there's certain things that aren't. And I have a number of different types of friendship groups. I have a number of different types of friends. I've got friends that grew up in strictly white areas and don't have a lot of black female friends, girlfriends. And I've got girlfriends that came from ends. And that's all they know, how the culture is immersed in London, particularly. And let's not forget in England or in the UK, there's black communities dotted everywhere. So the London experience will probably be different from the Manchester experience, from the Birmingham experience, from the Scotland experience, from the Ireland experience, from the Welsh experience, and etc. That being said, though, I think that what Esther was talking about is true, but I think it's only true for London. I think if you subscribe to, was born within, and was heavily influenced by the postcode wars, so you're from East, you're from South, from West, then I think Londoners have a certain attitude in general, and I then think that's now become a thing within the black community within London. So we're more like stush, more push-up face, more judgmental, more about image than anything, like in terms of like, if someone's dancing too hard in the dance, it's like, why are you dancing
doing too much? Yeah.
Why can't you just stand and look cute? Do you know what I mean? Especially amongst girls. There's this, because it reminded me of in uni, In uni, I was a dancer, and I know I've got a big personality. It's weird because at times I'm introverted and at times I'm extremely extroverted. At times I'm shy, at times I'm not. In the dance, I'm not shy. Why? Because I know I can dance. I enjoy music. Growing up, that's all we did in my house. Play music and dance, the whole family. So when I go to the dance, I'm not standing on the side looking. I'm in there.
Yeah.
If a song I like is playing, I'm going to dance. And I remember there was one friendship group that I had. The other girls weren't quite like that. But I was. So every time we would go out, they would look at it as, Dammy's trying to get all the attention. Yeah. When I'm like, no, I just want to have a good time. The music is on. This is my song. Yeah. I struggle to keep still. If they were playing music, right? If we were playing music right now and the song I like was playing,
yeah, you'd be like,
I'm going to move. I can't be like, yeah, I'm just gonna listen to it. I can't do that. I can't do that. So to them, it was, Dammy's attention seeking, and it became a thing. And then we stopped being friends because they saw it as, Dammy just wants all the attention. She thinks she's all that. And that's why I can relate, not just for that reason, but there's other times where I've seen that happen either with myself or with people that I know in London, at events or amongst certain types of industries or different types of places. And you're like, yeah, in London.
I definitely agree. It's a
bit of bad vibes.
I agree in London.
I agree with her on the front of her saying that she thinks that black women are bad vibes because she's from London. She's from East, And knowing the type of person that she's portrayed herself to be so far, and the kind of people that she hangs around, and the kind of places that she would have been going to, and me being an East girl myself, and me knowing that, I think she's not lying.
I definitely don't think she's lying. But then, is it fair to say our black girls are bad vibes? Then she's specifically calling out black girls. Is she saying that other girls are not bad vibes?
No. So this is the thing about social media, I think, and we've spoken about this before as well, but I definitely think that just because you're saying one thing doesn't mean that you're saying something about another group. I think she's just literally talking about her experience about black women, and you've got to take into consideration the context around her, innit? You know?
Yeah.
And I get it. Like, she's portrayed herself as a bad girl.
Yeah.
Like, like a baddie. She's portrayed herself.
She's a villain.
She's portrayed herself as the loudmouth girl.
She's a villain
who attacks you if you don't agree with her. That's where she's come from. So, you know, and she's very much like, she's always come across as, if you come for me, I'll come for you. Like the moment it went on Shea Barra, she did another video to come and attack Shea Barra and all the comments that she was getting. She had to address it. She's not the quiet, you know what it's called, chilled, laid back type. She comes across as aggressive. So it makes sense why some people's reactions would have been like yours, like, wow, I mean.
Yeah, I'm like, okay,
Those in
Esther.
glass, those
Yeah.
in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
Okay,
like,
Esther.
Okay,
like
yeah.
anybody else,
that.
I'd have been like, oh,
yeah, I hear
cool,
that.
let me
I
their
hear that.
experience.
But to be honest, I think there's element of truth in everything, innit? And it's all about your own experience of life. And I think based on what I know about the fact that she's from London, she's from East, she's been in certain crowds. The girls in those crowds are not.
Yeah, but then twofold is the London thing, because London is, you know what I mean, a small city with a lot of people in it. Obviously, a big black community as well. And I think any person, regardless of their race, ethnicity, what have you, will find that London is a very competitive space, and maybe not
That's a nice way
the
to put
best reflection of the community that they might experience
Yeah.
elsewhere in their same group.
Yeah.
And I think black people are quite competitive when they can be.
I think we are. Period. I think
That's what I mean.
I think that, and this is why I said all that bit in the beginning, my preamble about not wanting to feed into the status quo, because I'm very aware, as someone that grew up partly in London and partly in Essex, there's a difference between black people in Essex and black people in London. And that's where I was kind of going to with all that, just to kind of set the scene. But like, there are a lot of black people who don't fit into the typical black boy, black girl box, if that makes sense. There's people that are into like alternative stuff.
Yeah.
They're not into the typical like grime and this, that, and have the typical black girl look or black guy look or dress that way, or, you know, into those things. There's people that are outside of that. There's people that are more into like goth stuff, emo stuff,
Had my face,
rock stuff. There's people that are like the skaters, the this, that. Do you know what I mean? It's different. And so I can see why Esther's comments around black people would have rubbed some people up the wrong way, as it did, because it's like, first of all, Han, if you're not in London, it doesn't apply to us because we're not in that space. And secondly, even within London, it's such a diverse community that it might just be with a particular type of black people that this is an issue. And I agree with that as well. But in terms of like, for me personally, I do think that black women are horrible towards each other, first and foremost, in the grand scheme of things. I think what we do, and I don't know if black men do the same thing, but I definitely think black women do it. I feel like the moment you have an opinion that doesn't fit what the rest of them think, they just
attack.
Yeah. There's no like, it's okay for us to have different opinions and have different ways of life and wanting to do different things. I myself, I've been attacked by black women off the back of some of the things I've said on the podcast. Do you know what I mean? Where they just didn't agree. Like, I remember when we did the whole black men, when you was like, oh, black men know that majority of black women only date black men. And I was like, and I was making comments around, because I didn't agree that all black men are dusties, I had black women coming for me, and I had to be like, whoa. First of all, not to say that you came from this type of environment, but as for me, I have a dad that's very present in my life. And my dad still calls me to tell me he misses me and he loves me. I'm very loved. I've always been loved by the black men in my life. So I have no reason to believe that
all black men are
whatever, innit? Do you know what I mean? And even in I'm not saying I've not had heartbreak. I have, but I still wouldn't have called those men dusties, to be honest. So, do you know what I'm saying? So I do think that I get it. Just because the person that the message came from isn't the best example of what it should be, doesn't mean that what they're saying doesn't have an element of truth to it and isn't agreeable. And I think what she's saying is agreeable specifically for women
for London
in London within a particular type of lifestyle where you lived in, when an ends type of lifestyle, if that makes sense. Yeah,
I think that's fair. Black men and women, young, are very impressionable as well, and this speaks back to loads of broken cultures being forced into one big group and then having to find an identity, and I think that they're very impressionable, and I think that what is sold to young black men and black women is a very low level culture, like a very basic trend led type of understanding of society and community. Like, we don't operate on higher levels of community. We don't have like, for example, our parents' generations used to do things like partners and you know, that kind of level of trust and cooperation and elevation type of, we actually don't do anything like that in
I think some of us do, but again, it'll be those of us that are very aware of our original culture. Because partners is more of a Caribbean way of calling it. We've got a different name for it.
What is
what is it? Again, the word is gone. Damn. Don't worry, it will come.
But basically, if any of you who are, you know, around our age, speak to your parents, ask them about a partner, they'll all know exactly what we're talking about. My parents did it.
Yeah. So basically, it's like a group of people. Let me explain to you guys in the easiest way that I can. So a group of people will come together, and every month you would all put money in a pot, and each month someone will take the whole pot. It's a quick way for everyone in the group to raise money. Some people use it back in our parents' time, sorry. People used it to raise money to buy houses in the UK, like so that they can get on the property ladder. So let's say myself, Venom, and like 5 other people, let's say, or 6 other people, let's say, got together and we were all putting in 2K, 3K each month. High numbers.
Yeah, I know. It's like, Rob, boy.
It could be 500 or whatever into a pot, and then Venom will take it this month. He'll take the whole pot. Then the next month, everyone again will put 500 in, and then I will get it. And it goes round like that.
Maybe that pot was enough to get the deposit.
Yeah.
So now I've got a mortgage. Now you've got a mortgage.
And it goes like that. And then when everyone's got their payout, you start all over again if you want to, or people can drop out and etc. So we do it. In the Nigerian culture, I know that we do it. We don't call it partner though. Yeah, it's called something else, but I can't remember the name. And like my parents did it. Like I remember going with them to the group, and then they'd all go when it's their time to collect their money, and you know, like it was like a monthly thing. Yeah. And one of my girls, she tried to do it with like in our generation type of thing, but not a lot of people were into it
because the trust ain't there.
It was like
because our culture that we have is not the same as our parents' culture. Our parents brought their own the culture from external and tried to hold on to it here. Yeah. Our culture is homegrown and it's not built on trust.
I can't lie to you. I would definitely do a partner. You know, I would do a partner because that thing works.
It works.
It works.
But it's not. I don't think the issue is would you do a partner. The issue is, are you able to trust the people who you're now going to do the partner with? Because that's what it comes down to. The logic of a partner that's a tried and tested thing. Yes. That's gold.
Yeah, that's how they used to do it.
It's who are you going to do it with?
Because I guess
Because be real, like I've had the sickest idea. Essentially, it's based on a partner, but I'm like, it requires this many people. Even if I trusted them, I can almost guarantee that amount of people, black, wouldn't trust me. It's just not possible because I'm not trustworthy, because this life we're living and this culture that we have does not promote us trusting each other to that degree.
Well, I mean, trust is an element of it. I just think that, and I guess the easiest answer would be, colonization did it. White people is the reason why. Yeah. But you know what? We need, as a
colonization did damage, but
we need to take responsibility, I feel, for where we're going. We know what the colonizers did. We know what slavery did to our community. Now we need to, and I know, it sounds like I'm reducing it, and I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to be reductionist. I know there's trauma there, but for how long are we going to hold on to the trauma and continue? Because again, speaking on like things like African versus Caribbean, we don't see it too much now. Yeah, it's not as bad. But when we was growing up, we had Africans trying to act like they were from Jamaica. Because they didn't want to be. There was no way. I look Nigerian. I talk Nigerian. There's no way I was going to get away with that. Do you know what I mean? But like, there was that divide. And then now more recently seeing the African versus African American divide in America play out on social media. It's like, do you not realize that these colonizers, these people that were selling us for slave trade, do you not realize they're laughing at us?
Yeah, because you're actually wanting the same.
Because now they don't have to do it for us. They don't need to divide us. We divide ourselves. It's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. America's different though. That's a different beast.
It is a different beast to the UK. It's different beast.
Yeah, that's a different beast. But I think the UK
Yeah.
could literally fix itself in one generation. Easily.
You think so?
Yeah.
How do you think we do it though?
Infrastructure. You have to start with infrastructure. You have no infrastructure, you have no hope. And I don't
You know
believe
what?
that the black people that we have right now are humble enough to accept someone to lead.
You just want to be the leader of the black community.
I don't need to be the leader now, but if that's what you want, guys,
Because
if you want me,
about this.
if you want me to take you to the
Listen,
promised
he has
land,
an agenda. He always talks about this,
if
about
you
how
want me
we
to
should have a
take
leader. We
you
have
to
a
the
leader.
promised land,
Is it?
then
Okay. Because I
I'll
don't know.
be a humble servant to do that.
But I think that there's animosity between different cultures within the black community,
UK
and in America.
America for sure. I feel like the UK one is fizzling down. I think now.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah,
But the animosity might have changed from it being between cultures to it being between genders. But there's animosity between whatever the grouping is.
yeah. There's still segregation.
There's segregation, and it boils down to animosity, hatred between is the issue.
Yeah.
And I feel like until we get rid of that, until we learn to accept that to everyone else we are the same, we can still appreciate the differences in our culture without hating each other. It's like, it's not overt hatred, because it's not like, oh, I hate you because you're from the Caribbean, or I hate you because you're a man.
In that sense, yeah.
But so hatred might be a strong word, but there's some internalized, there's some internalized.
There is an internalized animosity or rejection because there's so many.
Which is why we have the problem of we're not backing each other. We're openly always looking at ways to tear each other down and say these horrible things and do these horrible things or whatever. Why can't it just be, okay, how do we work in unison to better our community? We're not going to be able to build an infrastructure until we deal with the animosity between us.
Yeah, it's like we need to all have a session with a psychologist as a community, together.
It's never gonna. I've come to realize and accept that it's never going to happen. We're never going to be a truly inclusive community, as in the black community, going to be truly inclusive. There's always going to be tribalism between us, and I think it might even date back. It might even be.
I think that's natural because
it will be.
There's always different schools of thought.
It's inane because even back in the day when we were all still in Africa.
Yeah, we had different tribes. Different gods was worshipped, different land was claimed, different cuisines, because having different schools of thought is fine. However, you can have understanding.
And that's the bit that I'm saying that I don't think we're ever going to get to.
This is the trickiest part anyway. Because I think a lot of communication is done in a weaponized way. And that's from every level and every structure, even how some faiths teach, is very weaponized against people who don't believe in that particular way of doing this and that and whatever it may be. So it's hard because that way of speaking is very powerful and emotive, and it gets people sold. So it's like a drug. So people not necessarily enjoy it, but it consumes you in a not in a good way, but in a way it's supposed to. You buy into it because it makes you feel something. But beyond the feeling and beyond the belonging is the wider not belonging, the wider not coordinating. Because we don't all have to believe the sky is blue. I'm happy for you to believe it's green. If we can also walk side by side and just enjoy it. It's now if you're trying to fight me because you're saying it's green and I'm saying it's blue, that's the problem. We can just understand it differently and still get along. But no one's promoting, just get along. No one's promoting, okay, how do we work together? Yeah, Ghana jollof is this, and Nigerian jollof is that, and Senegalese is the original. So how do we...
Everyone just love your own jollof. It's not that deep.
But I mean, we do. We banter about it. But on a deeper level, it's just where is the understanding? There's so much fighting, so much infighting. Whether it be men and women. I think now more than anything it's men and women, because the men and men is very immature. You live here, I live there. I sell green on this block. Why are you on this block? That's where everything stems from to do with men.
Yeah.
From what I've seen.
Yeah.
But I think between men and women, I think a lot of it's going to be to do with indoctrination from media, etc. And then from having no fathers present. Because a lot of, and this is the one that I don't even know how you begin to unpick it, is a lot of guys raised by their single mums are the ones that date the white women. And I'm looking at the mum.
They don't like their mum.
Yeah, but some of them love their mum.
No, hear me out. Some of them, they do, because you can't help but to love your parent.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how wrong they do you, you're going to, because that's just how humans are made. There's that instinct, that motherly child instinct. You're going to have that. But I feel like, this is going to ruffle some feathers. You see that dynamic between single mom and son?
Yeah.
It's toxic.
Toxic.
It can be.
What? In what way?
It can be.
In what way? What's gone too far?
I'll talk about the main ones, because again, I can't generalize, because there's different types of dynamics and people are different. We're not all the same. We're not monolithic. But the one that I see mainly is single mom and her son. She didn't get the love from the dad the way she should have.
Yeah.
So she's got resentment towards the dad. Somehow the resentment ends up becoming resentment on the child, because she's the primary caregiver. She didn't get to have her own life. She didn't get to do what she wanted to do. More time, she struggled to date again or find someone else. So she's now like, she's put all her love. She feels that the first time she's getting proper love is from the son. And then that creates a toxic relationship between them, because now she's put all her expectations that should have been on Pops on the son. That son could grow up to now have a sense of responsibility for looking after his mum, because mum doesn't have a male figure to help her look after her, and men inherently want to look after the women around them or the community around them. So he now feels like he has to look after his mum. Mum plays on that because she ain't got a man. And she feels that the son's the only real male love that she's ever had. That creates a toxic relationship between the two. That's the stereotypical relationship between the two. And as someone that's dated someone who was in that scenario, remember, I come from a home where I had both parents.
Yeah.
Not only did I have both parents, but my dad was very present. Still is. So for me, it was very strange seeing my partner doing stuff for his mum that his dad
should have been doing,
or another male figure should
yeah.
have been doing for the mum. And then the mum putting unrealistic expectations on the son in terms of like, now she's all up in his business around who he can and can't date and what he will do and won't do with his life on an Uber level compared to like any normal parent going, any normal African parent, for example, having expectations on their kids. But now it's like a different level because she's putting all her eggs on this basket, this boy. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, this isn't... And then he's now like a glorified mummy's boy because his mum's put him on a pedestal and she's babied him and it just creates this horrible, and it's weird because from what I saw from that situation, she put him on a pedestal, she babied him and everything. So he was like basically still on his mum's tit, essentially. But then at the same time, she resented him for it. So she didn't show, it was like a push and pull thing. Like she wasn't affectionate and stuff. And then that led to him having an idea around what women are, because the first example of what a woman is to him is his mum. And if his mum behaves like that, then he has his own built up resentment for women because of how his mum treated him. And then that then echoes onto how he treats the women in his life, if that makes sense. So it's a very complex situation.
I can see the journey.
But to me, it's like that relationship, if it's not handled correctly from the single mum, how she raises the son and how she views her son, it plays out later in life into this whole big issue, and then it becomes a toxic dynamic, and not only for them but also for his relationship with future women and how he sees future women.
I think the part of the problem as well is that maybe a lot of people don't raise their kids intentionally, like with the adult they're building in mind, and maybe even this can be more prevalent possibly in single parent households where they're just actually getting by rather than being like, so I want my son, daughter to grow up to become self-sufficient and stable in this way and yada yada yada, and then walking back like, what does that take?
A lot of it comes down to awareness though as well, and also the stage in life that you are at when you've had that child. So for example, if I fell pregnant in my early 20s, I know that the type of parenting I would have been doing is completely different to the type of parenting I can do now if I fell pregnant. Not only because of age, but because of maturity and,
you've been thinking
and
about
what I've
things.
learned and what I've experienced as well, mainly. So because this is even the same for people that come from 2-parent homes, where you've come from a 2-parent home where your parents had you a lot younger and they had less resource and knowledge, to you being born into a family where your parents are a lot older, and you look at the kids that come out of those situations and they're completely different. So it could be the same thing. It could be a single parent is dealing with that on top of being
on top of the relationship situation,
being the primary caregiver and all that on top of it. So it's a lot.
And then family structure as well.
You
have to have elders around you, man, because they will help. And that's another thing that I don't think that we do well as a community as well, is listen to our elders anymore.
No,
I feel like that's demonized in the Western culture. Is like,
because
you must have your autonomy.
Do you know why? Because do you know what? It's partly that, but then it's also partly this idea that they come from a different time, and so because your time is not like now, you don't get it. But what people fail to understand is that life is a cycle. And just like fashion, things come back. Just because it might present itself differently, but when you get down to the crux of it, it's the same. Like some of the issues that we have in relationship now, I'm pretty sure they had the same. It might not have been to the same scale, but I'm pretty sure they would have had the same situation. Like men being players, you know, and dating multiple women and making you believe you're the only one was definitely still a thing back then. You know what I'm saying? Like women being judged on promiscuity.
There's nothing.
Would have been a thing then. There's nothing new under the sun.
My dad done told me.
There's nothing new under the sun. So
absolutely nothing has changed.
There you go. Ever.
He said ever. He said that's the biggest revelation he came to in this life. He said it doesn't matter what he's done, even himself. Actually, when he looks at the world, nothing has changed.
It's all the same. And I think young people fail to see that, because
you can't.
They're so like, their level of like what they can see, they've not been able to see that, this is something that you have to see it repeat to understand it repeats. So we just fall into the same cycle, which is why those possibly those older civilizations, those more basic civilizations and communities thrive and position themselves that the elders have control, because they're able to guide you past the things that you're experiencing for a first time, thinking is so impactful. So you know what I mean? Important when it's not. The reason why in today's society, especially because we're millennials, so we look at things. We're the generation that changed it.
That changed what?
You do realize it. You know that whole not listening to your elders.
Oh yeah.
It's our generation that started that, because we were like, it's toxic. And the reason why it's...
I can't relate in it. I can't. Yeah.
I can't relate.
I hear what you're saying, but
online,
like,
when did
it happen?
Online, when you like look at social media, you'll see that there's this big divide between millennials, Gen Z, and the generation before millennials. And the difference is that millennials are coined or have been noticed to do things differently. We're the ones that started this whole, everyone's got to be inclusive. We've got to care about everyone. We've got to we've got to, like, we're the ones that started all of that. And so the next generation are very much like, watch your P's and Q's. You've got to be, what's the word? Like you've got to say things in a
polite and courteous way.
No. Like
like inclusive speaking.
Yeah, like yeah. Thank you. My brain is like I had no food yet today. So like the next generation, the millennials started that. We started that, and the reason why we started it, not saying you and I, but in general, the millennials in general, is because when you give a group power, some of them take advantage of that.
Yeah.
And because whether that's men versus women in terms of like men being in power, women fighting for their equal rights, or you've got elders like back home where children don't have rights because your parents fundamentally take ownership of your right. It's what they say that goes. And when you give power to anyone or any group, some of them take advantage of that, and they utilize it for bad, basically, right? And so that's why a lot of nowadays it's gone completely far. Like it's gone so far to the left. The pendulum has swung so far to the left. There needs to be a middle ground. I agree that we should take wisdom from our elders and we should listen to them. But there also needs to be a level of, okay, let me just take heed. Because sometimes what they're saying, there's relevance to it, but I also have to apply my own...
Your own logic and understanding.
And be like, okay, I hear that, but is that wise?
Yeah, but that's how those communities were structured, though. They have like a council of elders, and then maybe it's like the person who would run the village or that community is slightly younger than them. But once they reach a point of, there's adversity, there's trouble, there's whatever, they go and consult. They go to their elders and they say, look, and then the elders bestow them with the knowledge they have and leave them to make the decision from a place of knowing.
See, my understanding was the elders were the ones that ruled and made all the decisions.
No. That is also true.
Yeah.
I'm just talking,
So look, it's a big. This is something huge. Maybe we should do a series, like addressing each, like, because we've completely like this conversation. Obviously, I knew it was going to take us off piste because there's so much
to it
at play.
There's a lot to it.
But I do think that the Black community, we are our own worst enemy. I think that there's loads of factors as to why that is the case. And I think I feel like there's something that needs to be done. There needs to be more conversations around it so that there's more like, how can we move away from that way of life? Because we will always, in the Western world, and even, to be fair, even in our own countries that were colonized and have gained their freedom, they've been left a certain way in which everyone is literally like this. Everyone's like butting heads and fighting against each other. And we need to go back to a space where we're working from a place of understanding.
We're working on our community.
Actually inclusive towards each other. And we understand that, okay, yeah, you're from the Caribbean. Yeah, you're African American. Yeah, you're African. Yeah, you're from the Aboriginal areas like New Zealand and all that. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Fine, we've all got different cultures within our culture, but we're one big community. How do we uplift, motivate, encourage each other for the betterment? Not to say that means the surface level stuff like we only date Blacks or not to say that. It's deeper than that. Do you know what I mean? Like, for our community to succeed, it needs to be done.
Yeah.
Because we're always going to be on the back foot to everyone else. When I look at the white community, like I've got a colleague at work, he's Irish and he's married to a woman from Pakistan. But he says that when he came to London, that he was treated funny by other Englishmen because he's Irish.
Yeah.
But he was like, but at the end of the day, he knows that he's also a white man. So in a place of work, for example, if it was them against anyone else, he knows that unfortunately he's got the upper hand, whether he's English or not, because he's white. It is what it is. I can't say that as a Black person.
Yeah.
I can't say that when I go to work that my fellow Black people are going to support me. I can't say that. In fact, it's more likely that they're not.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to fight for the position. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's sad that there's differences between other cultures, but they still band together. Whereas when it's us, it's like, rah, that's when
The
you're seeing us
competition is
tearing
on.
each other. Anyhow.
But
Just
again,
anyhow.
but that's because of our community, yeah. It's because of our community. Because those people will have a community outside of the workplace, and we won't.
And we don't.
Mm-hmm.
And we have this fake community. But
this entertainment.
It's this fake community.
That's entertainment. That's
it's
not
real.
Community. Yeah.
It's not real.
Mm. Yeah, no, I agree. 100%.
It's not real. It's so sad. So yeah, no, I do agree with Esther. Fair enough. The person, I mean, Esther herself.
Definitely that messenger.
The messenger, it's the reason why the message didn't land the way it should have.
Hermes. That's what that is. Yeah.
But that's why it didn't land the way it should have.
Yeah,
because people were upset. People were upset.
Should doing up DPD. That's not. Need to come back.
She should have been Royal Mail. That's what she should have been.
Yeah.
That's what she should have been. Not every. Or what was they
called?
No.
Yeah, that's what I said Hermes. That's what I said Hermes. Not me also throwing shade at Esther to join in.
That's terrible.
To join in with the online.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Because like, again, looking at the whole Ovi thing, yeah, I don't think I've seen Ovi date a black woman, to be fair. Like, even the girl that he went for in Love Island, she was...
I mean, there was basically only really black, white girls in Love Island. There's only ever like one not white girl. Like, that probably happens to be black, but like...
Yeah, I don't know where Anna was from. I don't know. I can't remember where she's from. I don't know. I think she's from the same place as Kim Kardashian. I can't remember. She could be Armenian or something like that. But she's not black.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, I get it. But I didn't see why black women need... unless it was sarcasm, no, don't come here because we want OV.
Yeah,
let me try and deter you.
Yeah, who knows?
But for it to be like, oh yeah, he's one of them black guys, like all black guys here ain't like that. He's 1 in a million, and plus he doesn't date black. Why did they have to go there? Why can't it be? Oh, people have clocked that there's good-looking guys in the UK as well.
Yeah, why don't we celebrate that?
Why can't we celebrate that? Do you know what I mean? Like,
but leave them for us, sis.
Yeah, like no, sis. Yeah, he is good-looking. That's why we like him.
But that's because that's not real. That's not a real conversation. That's just entertainment.
I know.
And there's nowhere else you can go for a real conversation. That's my point. Other communities,
okay, I hear
they can go somewhere and they'll get the real conversation.
But at the same time, why is it that we're not having actual edifying conversations on these
because those platforms don't belong to us. So even if we try to have an edifying conversation on TikTok, Twitter, whatever, which people probably do, there's probably groups on Facebook or any of these places. At what point is it the responsibility of the platform owner to boost that?
You're right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's an algorithm based thing. So why boost it? Oh, I can also not.
You're right. The reason why I'm saying you're right, yeah, guys, Venom and I, we've been through so many different types of journeys on this podcast. Like, sometimes we bring out edifying content, and sometimes we end up just doing what everyone else is doing, and bring out start talking about things that don't matter, which is what we call it, stuff that don't matter, because these are not things that we think is important for our community, but it's the stuff that people seem to want to hear about. And the episodes where we're talking about things that really matter, that can really make a change within our community, they don't go nowhere. So always the episodes where we're talking about stuff that's like surface level rubbish, they go somewhere. And then you'll always get people within the black community going, we need to get rid of the podcasters, we need to get rid of their microphones. And it's like, okay, but what kind of podcasts are you listening to? Because you've got people like Steve Bartlett. His podcast is popping.
Yeah.
In the business space. You wouldn't want to take his microphone away from him. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So it's because you're entertaining the black podcasters who talk about stuff like relationship all day, every day, and toxic conversations, rather than talking about things that actually matter. Like when we had Nana here, I thought that episode was
sick, man.
That was probably our best one so far, right? In terms of edifying the people that were going to listen to it and talking about something that matters within our community. And if you look at the views on that,
it's not nowhere near like some of the sillier reels.
The dumb stuff that we talk about that doesn't really matter. There's no substance to it. But the moment it's so sad, man. It's so sad because when you look at other communities, the podcasts that pop off are the ones that have substance.
But there's structure behind it. This is what I'm saying, man. It always comes down to infrastructure, because think about it from this perspective, right? If you have put in place, and I'm even getting ideas in my head, so I'm not gonna say too much before someone try to take my thing and then do it wrong. But if you have people in place who are actually elders, who aren't connected necessarily to be friends, but are connected because they occupy a certain level of knowledge and position in our community, and they own a space, and then you have people below that. They can be the Oprah Winfrey's to be like, guys, I see what you're doing with this podcast. I don't think it's uplifting our community. You have a following, do better. And if you don't do better, then we will use our financial power to move you along, because you're actually not serving us. And more important than serving your own pocket, you need to be serving us.
There needs to be a purpose to it. Otherwise, what is the point? Like I was saying to Venom earlier today before we started recording that, I started to lose a bit of motivation for a podcast. And when I really deep the reason why, it's because I do enjoy the entertainment side of things. I do enjoy the surface level stuff. There's a time and a place for that. But the content that I like to digest mainly is content that is taking us somewhere, if that makes sense. It's content that is edifying. I want to learn. I want to be open. I want to think about these more important issues. And that's where we wanted to go. Yeah. But I think somehow we found ourselves
in it,
trying to
in between, trying to grab people.
And I really want us to go back to the original hardcore, like,
Let's do it,
and not care, because I feel like what is the point at the end of the day, you know? And I'm big on having a purpose and doing things that goes towards the purpose, and we could be entertaining along the way. Yeah. But if it's not adding to the community in a positive way, then I don't think it's worth it being there. It's not worth it. Anyone can come online and talk about stuff and entertain or add their 2 pence to the already boring conversations that everybody has all the time. Why not talk about stuff that, like, this is the real life, innit? This isn't Twitter feed. It's real life. So I don't know. I'm rambling, but
on Twitter they'll say you're cooking. They say she's cooking.
I'm cooking. Do you know what's funny? Half the time I don't feel like I've even said anything. I don't feel like I've even landed a point. But you get what I'm trying to say.
I know exactly what
I feel like it's a shame.
You're saying, Shay, step up to the task. You're the guy to do it. Lead our people to the promised land.
We are the people to do it. We are the people to do it. Because like we've had some edifying conversations that we've had conversations that other people haven't had in terms of like black podcast spaces. Yeah, we've done some stuff around, like, I think I've never seen anyone talk about the patriarchy versus feminism thing in this sort of context, in the way we did it before, or and stuff like that. And I think that's more our lane. But it's just so sad that in our community, that's not the stuff that doesn't get the traction. Hear. They don't want to hear it.
We've been in terms of consumerism from the West. We are like in fact, we are like, black people are the biggest consumers. Yeah. And the only way you can become the biggest consumer is you take the lowest level product, because that's the fastest thing to make, and that's what we consume. So it's a long journey, man. But the structure is not there in terms of our community and the mentality that we, like, everybody has kids without proper parent planning, without proper relationship guide. Like it doesn't matter which way you look at it. We're starting at the back foot from every angle. We're going off vibes. We're getting into relationship on vibes. Families
vibes.
Vibes. Kids vibes. Finance vibes. Everything vibes.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like
it's not going to be vibes.
You know what? I like vibes. Like I said, there's a time and a place, and it sounds like we both share similar sentiments when it comes to the black community. That's probably why we even bothered to start the podcast in the first place, to be honest. That and banter's on point. So I reckon it sounds like, guys, we're probably going to start moving more into that space, isn't it?
Yeah, we're going to move into the black extremism space, where
extremism.
MI5 will be knocking.
Is my elbow ashy?
Were you out here dry?
I feel like my elbow is ashy, you know.
It's not giving ashy. At least on the camera, it's not.
No, yeah, I don't feel moisturized, but the way my skin drinks.
What random? But what do you cream with?
Oh, because I have eczema.
Oh, okay.
Believe it or not.
No, I really didn't know that.
Yeah, because my mum, she put me on from young.
Jeez.
So I use shea butter, or I use emulsifying ointment, and sometimes I actually mix the two and I whip it.
Okay.
So the whole point of emulsifying ointment is it locks in any moisture in your skin, and then obviously shea butter.
Shea butter,
innit? Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So
what I
my secret one, right, that I literally stumbled on, I'm gonna say in lockdown. I think it was in lockdown. It may have been before, but I do believe it was around about lockdown anyway, is actual coconut oil.
Yeah, it works really well.
That's been my go-to ever since.
So I'm
not oil. Yeah, you know, like the solid state.
Yeah,
well, in this country, it's solid at room temperature. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm into skincare. I'm a girly girl.
Mm-hmm.
You probably
Who couldn't tell?
Right, I'm a girly girl. I love makeup. I love skincare. I like luxury. I like. That's how I move in life. Yeah. So at home, it takes me 20 minutes to 30 minutes to moisturize my body. Because I'm there taking my time. I'm like,
my body would be dry as a bone.
I'm like,
You said 30 minutes.
I'm like,
I got 2 minutes and probably 20 seconds from once.
That's why I'm always late to come to record.
Because you're too busy creaming.
I'm like,
yeah.
So
but these times you don't watch corn, but you're spending all 10 minutes, yeah, delivering cream.
Why's your hand in your crotch?
Cream? Huh? What?
Why's your hand in your crotch?
Spending all 10 minutes delivering cream, yeah? Okay.
Because the skin's got to be moisturized.
All right. Okay. You lot heard it here
Take
first,
it out
yeah?
of the gutter. Take it out of the gutter. But I would moisturize with like my little concoction, and then I top it off with body oil. That's why it takes me long, because I'm doing it twice.
Oh, yeah, doing it twice. Okay. You like the double.
First round, second round.
You like the double.
Trust me.
Yoy.
Pause. Or maybe not.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm thinking.
But yeah.
Said pause and then re-up.
Yeah, and then I've put the oil on top. And when I use the oil on top will either be coconut oil, or you can get like the cocoa butter oil.
Yeah.
And then I
swear by that coconut oil. Coconut oil for me.
But it makes your skin smell so nice as well.
Yeah, I think it's got like not a strong perfume, which is obviously natural, so there's no added chemicals at all. And I don't know why it just moisturizes my skin. Like if I put cream on let's say for example, my foot is a criminal one, especially for a man. If I put cream on my foot like an Astral or Nivea, well, you kind of like I'm lying. What is that? Is a criminal.
I don't know. I feel like the guys that I've seen their feet like that, they had nice feet.
Yeah, but they might have known. They might have prepped. They might have made sure that reapplied that. Oh yeah, nice I'm gonna casually just bring out the foot, but they knew the foot was coming out. Listen, man will put like an Astro on the foot after showering or bathing, whatever.
Astra, yeah.
I couldn't wear like ankle socks or no socks because it didn't matter what I put, even coconut butter, just like the Palmers. But I step outside, but that's white.
That's because you're not topping it up with the body oil on top.
Nah, it's because my body is not responding to this concoction of science. When I now deliver this pure virgin coconut cold pressed oil, wow.
That's
I put the sock on, take the sock off, the moisture's still there. If I take listen, my boy, he screamed. This is when our friendship was locked in.
Okay.
Yeah? He came to my house. I was wearing grey socks.
Nah, the fact that you're busting up before you tell the story, that says it all. So wait, you took the sock off.
I bust off the grey sock and he said, "Fam, it looks like you still got the sock on." He was screaming. And I said, "Yo, it is what it is, man."
Yeah,
that was in school days, but then that's when I used to use like Astral, cocoa butter.
I'm joking.
Sweating, you know that.
We have a shout out. We were gonna shout out. I mean, we might as well just shout out anyway. Miss Dimples.
Miss Dimples, you're there. You
out again.
Because you're a bad gal.
Because you're a bad gal. You're a supporter.
You're here.
And we love you, genuinely. Like, and you encourage us all the time. So we really appreciate you for that. Honestly. Like, whether it's edifying content or not, you're tuned in, locked in.
And you're vocal.
And
that's not to say that everyone who's not vocal, we don't appreciate you.
Oh, yeah. We do.
But obviously, it's easier to appreciate the people who just show up and say, hey.
Who are visible, that make themselves visible. So thank you so much for that, Miss Dimples. And also want to shout out, I'm not going to say your surname because I don't want to butcher it. but it's Victoria, and I put the full name on the screen.
Mhm.
You tuned in to our episode with Nana,
Yes.
where we spoke about race and disability, and you left a really, really encouraging message on there about how inspiring Nana's story was and how educating the episode was. And so we wanted to shout you out for that. I know it's been a few weeks now, but
Thank you still.
thank you so much still. And yeah, if you want to shout out like Miss Dimples and Victoria J, then all you got to do is be subscribed. Please be vocal in the comments, because more time we're picking people that are in the comments. More time. So yeah. And also follow us on our Instagram. The QR code is on the screen. And if you want to follow us individually, our individual handles are in the description, both on YouTube and the listening platforms as well.
Yes.
Gonna say anything else?
I have nothing to add. Other than that, I wish you have a fantastic day if you made it this far, and that you tune in for our next episode, which is going to be even more black, even more extreme, and even more uplifting as we journey to our 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, trying to get to 1,000.
As we journey to rebuild our community. I think we need a new tagline, innit?
We need a new tagline. We'll. If you got any suggestions, pop it in the description.
Yeah.
Because you lot that, especially you lot that watch or listen religiously, not religiously, but persistently.
It's religion now.
I don't know about that. I'm not trying to build a cult. Child of God. Let us know what you think our new tag could be. And again, let us know what kind of things you want to see from us so that we know what to give you. And yeah, that's it from us too, boy. From Dami Zane
and
Venom. So we'll see you next week at the same time.
Peace.